everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. I'm here today with a kind of a nice recipe for supper, for bringing to, I guess, get-togethers and potlucks and different things. Children and adults alike enjoy it. You can make it as spicy or not as spicy as you want. And my recipe is called cheesy chicken spaghetti. I originally found this recipe online somewhere, but they had called for like a can of chili peppers and a bunch of other different things that we don't normally like. Sometimes you'll find them in the grocery stores here, sometimes you won't. So what I did was kept the recipe kind of the same, omitted the chili peppers, and I'll put some dried flake chilies in there and whatnot. So what we need to do is first thing we're going to do, and this is a crock pot meal, which is awesome, so you can kind of set it and forget it and then come home from work and finish it off. Excellent. This is the liner of my crock pot. I just used that because my crock pot is quite big and it was taking up all the room on my table. I'm going to take a small onion. If you don't have a small onion, you can just use half an onion. You can absolutely put the whole onion in there. It's not a big deal. Like it's absolutely going to be delicious. It smells wonderful because it has a lot of cumin and stuff in there, and while it's cooking, it's just it's so good. I promise you'll like it. My mother even likes this, and she's a pretty fussy eater sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. Hubby loves it, and it makes a bunch, and 2 chicken breasts will feed an entire family. And leftovers for work the next day, which is win-win-win. I'm just going to dice up my onion here now, and I kind of like to make a few slices one way and then a few slices kind of the other way, because what happens there is it kind of chops it up for you already, as you'll see as I'll start chopping here now. And I like my onions very small, as you know. I don't like onion. I love the flavor, but the texture of onion really bothers me. Just the whole sliminess, I guess. And you can see when you slice your onion this way, you have very little wastage. So just like that, cut your onions nice and small. Now, if you love onions, you can absolutely leave them bigger, but knowing children and people that really don't like onions, cut them small just to be safe. I would. You can actually see how tiny I have mine here, into the crock pot. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is take a half of a red pepper. Make sure you wash your vegetables. You don't know what they're spraying on them, not only in the ground, but then when they come across the border and on the trucks and different things, I'm sure they're sprayed again. So, if you're not buying organic, wash them really well. And even if you are buying organic, still wash them, because you don't know who was touching them in the supermarket. And I'm just going to, just kind of slice them lengthwise. And I'm going to slice them crosswise. And this gives you, some nice peppers, sizes, not all equal, but enough, to taste and see. The red pepper gives it a little kind of a sweet feel, I suppose, and it adds to the fragrance. Like seriously, guys, when this is cooking, your house smells absolutely delicious. And it's super great too, because you don't need to be standing over the stove all day. You can quickly do this. You could even probably do this the night before and then chop the chicken in there in the morning. I'm sure that'll be fine as long as it was all kept in the refrigerator. There's my peppers, small but still a little coarse. And then I'm going to take a half a green pepper. And green pepper for me has a real unique taste. And so if you omit the green pepper, yeah, the flavor isn't quite right. So make sure it's a half a green pepper and a half a red. You can absolutely substitute the red with a yellow or an orange. Those are also sweet peppers. Somebody told me that a green pepper is just an unripe yellow pepper. So I'm not 100% sure on that. I wonder what you guys are having for supper. Hubby's going to be some happy, I know, when he comes home and this is all ready to go. And then he's got leftovers, so no need to make a sandwich in the morning. Absolutely fantastic. And I just think sometimes like a nice warm meal for lunch is a lot nicer than a cold sandwich. Don't get me wrong, I love a good cold sandwich on a hot summer day or something like that. But when you're, working and the weather's not really warm and stuff, sometimes a nice warm bowl of soup goes a long way. I remember as a child, I used to take a lunch to school, and this one day my friend had me over to her house, and her mom, that piece is a bit big, it was very simple, a can of, I believe it was Campbell's soup, and tomato soup, and that's what she was having for lunch. And she told me, come on in now, she said, and have a bowl of soup yourself. Well, I don't think she knows, but like for me, the comfort of the warm soup stayed with me right to this day. So thank you, Marie Yetman. I'm not sure if you remember that day or not, but I sure do. And it was the best soup, even from a can. I think it was more to do with the love in the soup myself. Yeah, so we got the red pepper in here, the green pepper in here, and an onion. To that, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of cumin. If you've never used cumin, cumin is wonderful, especially on chicken, salsas, Mexican. It's kind of got a lemony kind of scent. It smells gorgeous. So I highly suggest you get some cumin in you. Oh, look at me going with two spoons to one time. So it calls for a half a teaspoon. I kind of like a little bit heaping, not super heaping, but a little bit, because I love the cumin. So that's going to go in the pot. And I'm also going to take a half a teaspoon of, my sister was here today and she was at Costco, and yay Costco. So I have this giant thing of garlic powder. We're going to put a half a teaspoon of that in there. If you don't have garlic powder, I'm sure you could probably use real garlic, but just use like a few cloves just to make sure you get the taste. And then we're going to take salt and pepper just for your taste, so like, a pinch of salt. And, however much pepper you want. Pinch pepper is good enough for me today because I'm going to be adding some chilies. To that, I'm going to add, it calls for 3 cups of old cheddar cheese, some kind of sharp cheese, but only one goes in the beginning. So I'm going to add my cheese right in there. And then I'm going to take, so simple honestly, and it's delicious, a can of cream of mushroom soup. If you don't like cream of mushroom soup, you can absolutely use cream of chicken or something. I hate cream of mushroom soup, but I love it in this, and I absolutely love it in the tuna noodle casserole. And if you haven't seen that video, you should go check it out. It's really good. And I actually showed the difference between Campbell's and Elmer's soup. And for me, you can see Elmer's soup is like, look, it's like it's fresh. If that was Campbell's, that would be just plop right out there in a big thick chunk, and it looks kind of gray and not really fresh in my opinion. So yay for the Elmer's. So now I'm going to just move this a little closer to me now, because we're almost done already, I know. So I'm just going to take my soup, my peppers, and my cheese, and I'm going to mix that around just like that. And my spices and everything is in here already. Now I'm going to show you what that looks like. Like so. And then what I'm going to do is take only two, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I did wash them earlier, and I'm using a fork because, again, I hate touching chicken for the afraid of the salmonella. I'm going to take those, and I'm just going to lay them right on top like that. Now, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put the lid on here, and I'm going to take that now and put it right on my crock pot. And my slow cooker is actually a pretty fast cooker, I find. It's a Bravati one. It really, really cooks fast. So I'm going to put mine on low. If you're, you know, have one that needs to be, sorry, I think my battery is going low. Hold on. Not sure what happened there, but anyway, my battery's dying. If you have a slower crock pot, put it on high. Let it cook for a couple of hours. I'm going to come back in a little while and show you what to do then. Once a couple hours has passed, you're going to take out the chicken breasts, pull them apart with a fork, add the extra 2 cups of cheese with some cooked pasta and a little bit of chicken broth if you like. And then, yeah, just warm it up again for another 5 minutes or so and done. And I'm sorry if my last few minutes were rushed. My battery, again, is dying. I'll pop back on here when it's almost done, and we'll have to do a 2-part series, I guess. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye.